my life you have been faithful. I will sing of the goodness of God. All right, there you have it. What is going on, everybody? It's Dave in here helping you play creatively. You may know a lot of musical terms like passing chords, substitutions, inner voicing movements, diminished chords, 2-5-1s. You may have heard of these things. However, you may be struggling with how do I apply these concepts in a song. Today, we're gonna look at my process for how I take a really simple song and add some creative ideas. And we're gonna look at this from a very elementary level, and then we're gonna look at this all the way to a more complex level. Let's get right to it. The song that we're looking at today is Goodness of God. It's one of my favorite songs, it truly is. And the chords for it are really simple. It's all my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. All right, let's go ahead and look at what I would do at my initial stage of trying to add some creative ideas. Now I want to give you a warning. This lesson isn't necessarily about teaching the concepts, but more the application of these concepts. So if you hear a concept that you haven't heard before, I would certainly recommend that you go and check out so many of our videos that play creatively that talk about these concepts, all right? Remember, it's about application, okay? One of the first things I like to do is I like to replace my major chords with their relative minors. So let's look at the major chords that we played. We played a C, we played a G, and we played a D, okay? Those were really the chords that were a part of that chorus. What I'm gonna do is, for some sections of that chorus, I'm gonna go ahead and replace that C with A minor. Why? Because A minor is the relative minor of C major. Now, how do you find your relative minor? Really quickly, you just count up 6 degrees away from your major chord. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? Now, it's important that you know the scale that you're in. We're in the key of G major, by the way, all right? So that's why there was a F sharp. Your screen is probably saying G flat, okay? That's why that was there, right? 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that tells me that A minor is my relative minor, or you can count 1, 2, 3 half steps down from your major chord, all right? That's how you find it. So we found our relative minor for C. Let's find the relative minor for G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. E minor is the relative minor of G major, all right? And let's find the relative minor of D. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The relative minor of D is B minor. Okay, now here is me playing the song, adding some of those relative minor substitutions. In all my life you have been faithful. In all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. All right, cool. Now, here's another thing that I like to do. I like to replace the root of my major chord with the third of that chord. So for example, if we are playing a G major chord, the root of G is G, but I like to replace it with the third of the chord, which here is going to be B, okay? So here's how I would add it to this song. In all my life you have been faithful. Woo. In all my life you have been so, so good. And there I did it again on the D major. I replaced the root of D with the F sharp, with its third, okay? Those are just some concepts I like to apply when I'm in level 1. I like to think of my substitutions. My favorite one is taking a major chord and finding its relative minor, and then I also like to replace the root with its third, all right? Those are two things I like to think of in level 1. Now, in level 2, I like to think about what are my passing chords going to be. Really, I'm just thinking about 2-5-1 passing chords and where I can apply them. Let's talk about what a 2-5-1 passing chord is real quickly. For C major, even though we're in the key of G, we are going to temporarily think of C as our 1. And then if C is our 1, D minor is our 2. And we're going to go ahead and say D minor 7. G7 is our 5. Really here, this is a G9. And then C is our 1. All right? So 2, 5, 1. Okay, so that's a major 2-5-1 substitution. I also like to think of my minor 2-5-1 substitutions. And so one of those minor 2-5-1 substitutions is going to be going to a B minor. We're going to go to a B minor 7. And so what we're going to do is we're going to play a C sharp half diminished 7, or the screen might be saying D flat, an F sharp 7 flat 9, which is our 5 or G flat chord, what the screen might be saying, to a B minor 7. Okay, so the B right there was our 1. So that's a 2, 5, 1, or 2, 5, 1. All right, so let's see how we apply this in this song, okay? In this level 2, I also like to add 7s to everything. So wherever I can add a 7, I'm gonna go ahead and make everything a 7. So here. In all my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. All right, so we talked about 2 of those changes I did, but let's talk about that final one. After that B minor, before I went to the A, all right, I played a E sharp 5, sharp 9 chord going to the A. Now, technically, if I'm going to A, B is my 2, which I've already played. I'm just going ahead and adding the 5, which is the E sharp 5, sharp 9, to the A minor, all right? And then of the goodness of God. All right, let me do that section one more time for you. In all my life you have been faithful. 2, 5, 1. In all my life you have been so good. All right, let's talk about one more thing I did in that section. Here, I'm going to a G. That's my chord. So it's all my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so. On that so, I'm going to a G. But before I go to that G, I can play a 2-5-1. Now, let's talk about a concept we did in level 1, which was replacing the root of a chord with its third. So here, instead of playing 4, 5, 1, we're gonna go ahead and replace the root with its third, with the third of D, and then we're gonna go ahead and play the root for G, right? So while in this level 2 section, I primarily think about 2-5-1s, sometimes you can think about 4-5-1s and get some really cool ideas, all right? And that's exactly what this is, okay? All right, so let's play that section all the way through now. In all my life you have been faithful. In all my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. All right, let's get to level 3. Here's where I like to add some extensions to those 2-5-1s, and then I also like to add some more movement. Here we go. In all my life you have been faithful. I will sing of the goodness of God. All right, there you have it. So what's happening in level 3? Well, I'm taking a lot of the concepts that we learned in level 2 and then just adding some more intricacies. So what's happening? First, here we have an A minor 7. All my life you have been faithful. And here, all I'm doing is instead of just playing the G over B, I'm sliding down to the G over B. From the D, walking down in half steps, right? Now we have this 2-5-1. Okay, so that's a 2-5-1, but just with some more movement. Okay? I'm playing that move, walking down from the B over this G7 chord, okay? And it's actually a rootless G7 chord, okay? So, and then we keep going. And all my life. Okay, so there is a move that I'll go ahead and say it. I saw Casey Conley do it, and I was like, I love it. I've been wanting to learn it for so long, and so I've been doing it ever since. But yeah, and so here's the move again. We're taking this same 4-5-1 idea, except we're replacing our root with the third. We're adding a 7th to it. So the 7th would be D. And then we are technically, we're changing the quality of the chord because we're making it minor for a brief moment. And then we do the same thing on the D. It is one of my favorite, all right? And then we land here on the G over B, okay? And you can do it again. All right, so. In all my life you have been faithful. In all my life. All right, so all I'm doing here is I'm playing the same 2-5-1, but I'm arpeggiating that D minor 9. And then I'm going to over the G chord. Okay, so, and then we keep going. With every breath that this F sharp right here, this F sharp 13 flat 9, I love it, or G flat 13 flat 9. All right, ooh, it is just thick. Okay, now here, instead of playing that B minor 7 that we were playing earlier, we're going to replace that with a B half diminished 7 or a B minor 7 flat 5. Able. Now, here what I'm doing is there was this E sharp 5 sharp 9 chord, and I've just broken up the chord to play a C major in my right hand with a A flat D in my left. And then I'm going down a half step to bring it up a half step. So, all right. For I will sing of the goodness of God. All right, there you have it. These are the steps that I walk through. There are certainly more things I do, but I just wanted to give you a framework so you can understand how do I think through adding more creative ideas to your piano playing. Hey, if you want to grow in your piano playing journey, you want to learn these concepts in a more step-by-step process, I certainly recommend that you check out our website, play-creatively.com, where you can find everything you need to grow in your piano playing journey. Until next time, keep watching, keep learning, and we'll all keep growing together. I'll see you guys next week.